do like a little intro here, but so we've got Arbour Seaon on. You guys, so Shane and Emily is their name, and I'm sure people are familiar with them. Your guys' camera's kind of here. You can, I mean, you don't have to.
I'm just gonna sit like this the whole time.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, and you're looking over there. But no, so the reason I really wanted to get you guys on, well, first and foremost, because like we ran into we actually didn't even run into each other. We were
Thankfully,
parked.
that would have been bad if one of us ran into the other one.
Oh, Emily, you're on fire.
No.
So we'll make a long story short. We're going out in Sedona doing our YouTube thing, and we're kind of wheeling and doing some off-road stuff out there. And we're parked. Our whole thing when we travel is park off the beaten path where nobody's going to find us. And
We found you.
They found us.
Unintentionally.
And I remember we pulled in that night, and I'm like, what the heck? Who parked right out here next to us? And then that was before I had checked Instagram, and sure enough, it was you guys.
Yep,
And,
at a shooting range, an unofficial shooting range out in the middle of the desert.
Which is wild because we didn't know until literally we just talked to them out there, but there was a bullet hole in their bus that they're pretty sure came from that shooting range. Which
Can't imagine where else it would have come from. I mean, you park overnight at a shooting range, and you're kind of asking for it at that point. In a big blue bus, it's like a Target.
I mean, gosh, you'd think like, we're in the parking lot and the shooting range is the opposite direction. People would be responsible enough not to shoot at the bus. But
Yeah.
Every time I look at the bullet hole, I think death and you guys. I don't know. Like, that's all I think. So,
Our friends were out there too, and they had a camper, and they had a bullet hole that they discovered a few weeks later, but it had gone all the way through both sides of their camper. And for me, I'm like, that just goes to show you the sturdiness of a school bus versus a camper.
So it didn't go through.
It didn't even go all the way through the window. I think somebody had taken it out because we didn't find the bullet, but it
didn't go anywhere else.
It had to have been a ricochet. It had to have been.
But there's like a hole. But I wonder if it like got stuck in the window.
Oh, I've seen
or
ricochets go through. I mean, go through like car doors even. So
That's I didn't
that
even know
makes
that's what
more
you call
sense.
it.
It's probably a ricochet.
But that didn't happen to their camper. It went straight through, and I'm like, another reason why I love living in a bus.
Have you
They're
seen
stout.
these?
They're stout.
Yeah, I know. Can
Oh,
I?
These
the
are
boom arms.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and those are like low quality ones. This one over here. I mean, and see
Oh,
how you
you
don't
kept
get
the
it.
nice one for yourself.
And the microphone. Yeah. I mean, I'm here more.
Wow.
You're only here
fine.
once.
That's true.
That's
Touche.
true.
But no, I mean, like with those, when you touch them, you can hear it. You can't hear anything on this one. It's.
Wow.
I mean, it's. Eventually, I'm gonna do all those setups, but just this microphone's like $500.
Wow.
So to try to do 4 of those is
A little
lot
bit
all at
steep.
once, especially
Understandable.
because the soundboard and the cameras and then this is really kind of new for us because we mostly like traveling.
Yeah.
And kind of what I figured is like, since Brandy's a teacher, so she teaches school for a living. So throughout the school year, we got to be back home.
Oh yeah.
And so I started this to kind of have something supplemental that I could do when we're back in town and
I
can't
love
travel
that.
all the time. Yeah. So, and I enjoy, like, I've had, I mean, just so many different people on just kind of talking about life and talking about things. And usually I try to get somebody with, some kind of an interesting background so they have like a plot to our conversation.
This is basically just a really good way to like make new friends. You could like make up a whole podcast and just invite people. Can you come to my podcast? And then you don't even post it anywhere. You're like, I'm so glad that we're friends now.
It's not even really a podcast.
No,
it's
you
just
don't
like-
record it or anything. I just wanted to get to know you a little bit.
That's funny. It's a good icebreaker, I guess. So, like, tell me, you said a minute ago you guys have been traveling for like 7 years.
Yes.
So 7 years, all of it's been in the bus?
No.
No?
The bus is relatively new. We were in a Class C RV for almost 4 years, and then we converted the bus over quarantine. So we've been in it since July 4th of 2020.
We've done a lot of walking too.
No,
No, we didn't do that.
he's
But we did take Emily's. She has like a little Mazda car, and we've taken that like cross country quite a few times before we had kids. So
yeah.
we did the college market. So we did lots of colleges, and we took that thing a lot of miles.
Because we had to like go to Reno and just do one show and then go back to St. Louis, and we were like, makes more sense to just take a car and save the gas money rather than like an RV. But I was really pregnant, and it was really not fun.
Pregnant with the first.
Yes, with the first one.
So you hadn't really thrown
She was
kids
just
in the
complaining
mix
all the
yet.
time. Just get over-
Being
That
in a car,
happens.
a tiny little clown car for 8 hours when you're pregnant is not super fun.
So you still had a home base then, and you you were leaving from there and just basically doing road trips to do shows?
Not really. Once we got married, we officially had no more like home base. Like we were in Florida, we had weekly gigs that we did all the time. We played at Disney. We did a lot of bars and restaurants and beach gigs, but we didn't have like a house that we lived in. It was just the RV. Like that was full time. And then when we started traveling to do colleges, probably like 2 years after we got married, we like really had no home base and we were just kind of bopping around the country, you know?
So did you say 2 years after you got married?
Yeah,
And
I would say so.
So most of the time, most of your marriage, you've
Oh,
been
yeah.
traveling.
Yep. And we lived, I
Oh,
moved
yeah.
into the RV the day that we got married. Like he was already living in it by himself. And then when we got married, I moved in. And that was it. So that was like 7 years ago.
So you found a guy that lives in an RV.
No, that's not how it happened.
I
Trust
did.
me.
So, okay, we were at this gig in Indian Rocks Beach, and this guy had his RV there, and he, I guess, travels the country, and he fixes like stoves and things like that. And so the thing that opened up this whole world for me was that guy, Creighton.
Creighton. Absolutely.
And so I never met him again. It was just that one time. And he's like, "Oh, do you want to come look at my RV?" And as soon as he pulled up the bed and there were clothes under there, I don't know. That was it for me.
Oh, it had like a gas struts where you lifted the bed up.
Yeah, and like all of his stuff was under there.
Our
I'm like,
motorhome has that. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Huge storage.
Mm-hmm. And that was it for me. I'm like, you live in this thing?
Yeah.
And that was it. I never want to live in a house.
I was not into the idea. I remember meeting Creighton and I was like, I don't know, Shane. Like we weren't even dating at the time. We were just doing gigs together. We did that for about 3 years unofficially. Like we were officially not dating, and it was really complicated and dumb. And then we did start dating, and he started talking really seriously about getting an RV. And I
remember it was like almost an intervention because your parents even showed up and were like, I don't think this
everyone
is a good
was
idea.
trying to talk him out of it. We were like, this is crazy. And the whole story, even of how he got the RV, is hilarious and bizarre.
But I will say, your dad, he was like, I liked his answer. He's like, I think it could be a good idea, but you just need to think about wait until this date or whatever is what he said.
Did you?
I didn't.
No.
I went against his word, but that he wasn't like 100% against it. He was just really wise in saying, wait till this date and see.
My parents have loved him from the start. So they're pretty supportive of even his crazy ideas because he ends up being right sometimes.
It happens.
Yeah, that's almost one of those things too. It's like hoping you'll change your mind. Wait till this date.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Well, I know when he got the RV, he started living in it. And we were dating, and I remember, like, we went on the first, like, really big RV trip that we did, and we had 3 other people that were with us in a Class C RV for 7 weeks, going out west into Washington. So 7 people in this, 7 people? 1, 2, 3, 5, math, sorry. 5 people in this RV.
You were thinking of the cats.
Oh, yeah,
we had 2 cats.
2 cats and 5 people.
And 5 people,
in
7
a class
weeks.
C, so it's 30 feet or under.
Yeah,
probably.
it was 30 feet.
Yeah.
And the whole time, like we'd been dating for like 8 months at this point, and the whole time I was just thinking, I do not want to live this life. I don't want to live in an RV, so I'm going to have to break up with him.
We were at a college and she started crying because she like realized.
I was like, what would I do with all my stuff? Like, I was not about it. And so I was like, sure, I was going to have to break up with him when we got home. And I'll never.
She's planning it out before you get
Oh,
back.
it gets so much better. No, don't tell him that part.
Okay, all right.
Because that'll ruin the ending of my version of the story. So he drops me off at home after the whole trip. I get back to my apartment in Florida. He says goodbye and he walks out. And I missed him. And I was like, oh man, well, I guess that's it. I'm going to have to marry him. And he proposed 2 days later. The whole time we were on that trip, he was trying to find an
So
engagement ring
he's
for
planning
me.
a proposal.
And I'm
she's
planning a breakup.
Yep.
But it was good.
There's a country song or something
I know.
in that.
It tested our love. And so then when I was sure, like I was so sure, and I was like, yeah, I would live in an RV to be with him. And so never, ever questioned it since then. It was a good questioning period, but it's really funny.
Well, I'd say a bus is a good middle ground because it's so big. You can bring all your
Absolutely.
stuff.
It was a
Yeah.
huge upgrade.
Well, people say all the time too, like, okay, well, you moved into a longer bus because our RV was 29 feet and this is a 40-foot bus, but they're like, yeah, but you probably lost a lot of space with no slide outs. I'm like, our RV didn't have slide outs either. So
No, we were
Oh,
already
so you
so
were in a
accustomed.
Class C with no slide out.
It was
Mhm.
like, it was very baseline. It was the only RV that he got approved for. Like, we literally were playing at a bar gig, met this guy who walked in who was on vacation in Florida from Delaware, and Shane told him he wanted to live in an RV, but he had no credit history and needed a co-signer. And this guy's like, I'll do it.
Some random person?
A random
random guy.
person. The next day, they went to an RV show, and he co-signed with Shane to get the RV that we lived in.
Dave
And
Ramsey would not approve.
no, Dave
but
Ramsey would be like, OMG.
That is so wild.
Terrible
So you
idea.
Asked a random person to co-sign for you, and they did.
What? No, I didn't ask them. Did you say that?
No, he didn't. Shane didn't ask. He just told him this is what I want to do. And this guy, Brian, he was like, I'll do it. And
So
Shane
you
was
just
like, what?
mentioned, you just mentioned it in passing.
Well,
and he's
because
like, I'll
because
do it.
he asked, "What do you want to do?" Like, what are your dreams? What are your goals? What's next? I was like, well, this is what we really want to do. And he's like, well, what's stopping you? And I'm Canadian, don't have a cosigner or whatever. And he's like, I'll do it.
Isn't
And
that
then-
Do you
crazy?
still talk to this guy? Or
Yeah,
All the
we
time.
do.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
just saw him this summer because he lives near this city that we visited in New Mexico, and he came up and met up with us, him and
That
his
is
wife, and
so
it was.
cool.
I know. Oh, he's a great guy. We have a blast with him. So
Our whole entire first EP is written about him and
4
his
songs
story.
that are about him. Yeah. We were like, what can we do to say thanks? Because we don't have any money. So we wrote him 4 songs.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Our nanny's messaging us because she left her water bottle in our car.
And she's going home now. So sorry, I'm
She's
not
coming
trying
all
to be
over-
rude.
She's coming all the way here.
She's
to
going
get
to
it.
come here and pick up her water bottle.
That's fun. All right.
So do you, when you get to places, do you get a nanny there, or do you have one that travels with you, or?
If they travel, it's different depending on the situation. So Silver Dollar City hires us for like the Harvest Festival and the Christmas thing.
So this isn't the first time you've done it there.
This is the second year only,
Okay.
but I think it's going to be like every year. I can't imagine not doing it. I think I would be so sad and feel like I was missing out. But this girl is awesome because she and her mom, they met us last year when we were playing there. And then she gave us a ride to the airport back in June when we needed to go to Alaska. And like I got in the car with her and we talked for like 5 seconds and I was like, I like you. Would you ever like be a nanny? She's like, I am a nanny. And I was like, oh, do you like Silver Dollar City? And she was like, yeah. So she came and she's been our nanny and she's gotten to go home on weekends and stuff like that because she just lives in Kansas City. But most of the time we have a nanny that lives with us and travels with us
Okay.
primarily.
Well, you guys are lucky with running into the right people.
I don't believe in luck, but I do feel like
Blessed. Maybe
I'm
it's
very
blessed.
I seriously sometimes I'm like, how did this happen? I mean, people ask, how do you find your nannies? And I'm like, we
Just run into 'em.
don't. It just gets sometimes like we met this girl last year because I posted on Facebook and I was like, we're looking for a nanny. If anyone has suggestions, send me a message. And it was like a friend of a friend from my homeschool group growing up. I met this girl for 5 minutes on FaceTime and I was like, all right. And she came and she was our nanny for 6 weeks. We're great friends now. She's like part of our lives. She's been on the road with us now. She's going to come back again this summer. And it was just like, she could have been a crazy person. Like, we
Yeah.
didn't know her.
Well, we still don't really know. I mean, she could still turn out to be crazy.
We have
don't
some
know.
friends that say she might be a Russian spy, but she's not.
Yeah.
Is that kind of tough having like somebody that's not really part of the family just stuck in your motorhome with you? Because I mean, it's a small space. You're sharing a Is it a 1-bathroom bus?
It's a yes.
1-bathroom bus.
1-bathroom bus.
You doing laundry at laundromats?
Yeah.
So everybody's dirty laundry's in there.
Absolutely. But the shower is separate from the bathroom, which is helpful
is
so
nice.
that when Shane is in the bathroom forever and ever and ever and ever, we can still take showers.
He's taking care
I
of his
have-
Instagram posts.
Yeah. Okay, so I all right, now that you brought it up. So if I'm like,
On the toilet.
on the toilet, doing number 2,
Uh-huh.
that's when I every single morning I like to post a reel, and it's just like my morning routine. It's just what happens. So
As
I post,
if it didn't take you forever before you started posting.
So you're in
these.
there editing a reel?
I mean, yes. So I'll post the reel because we do YouTube videos every single Sunday,
Uh-huh.
and then I literally take clips every single morning of that video and I post it as a reel. And then my teeth brushing regimen is so long because every single time I go to the dentist, they take a tooth out.
They take a teeth
They
out.
take a teeth out. So I've been in Branson too long.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They take a teeth out. And so I'm like a good 5 to 10 minute teeth brusher. I floss, make sure I get everything, and then
Such a luxury. I go into the bathroom for like 5 seconds and both children immediately are like pounding on the door. One of them's like, I have to go to the bathroom. The other one's like, Mommy.
It's because you're gone. You're not keeping up with them.
I
So she
know.
goes,
you
isn't it
disappear.
crazy?
Mommy.
Yes, that's how she says it over and over.
Daddy,
It's
daddy,
so
daddy,
funny.
mommy.
Do you got a fenced off area where they can, or you keep them out, or you?
No,
No.
I want to do that. I want to get one of those fences that you can collapse so that like we could put them outside kind of like in our own yard.
Yeah.
Not like a cage, like we would be out there too.
Well, you can
Oh,
get that.
yeah,
You can
bro.
get that like that construction plastic fence.
Yeah.
You know, it rolls up into a roll
Exactly.
and just roll it around 4 stakes out in a staked off area.
I want to
Yeah.
do something like that in the
That's
future.
pretty smart.
Yeah.
We may like paint it white or something, so it's not this like.
You could probably get it
construction
in white instead of orange or yellow.
Oh my gosh, I never
and then,
thought about
and then
that.
literally it's just 4 stakes. You just hammer 4 stakes in and run that around it.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy.
I've been wanting to do something like this for a while because
Yeah.
our daughter is a runner, as we said. And we were out in the desert this past winter, and it was, I mean, there's just cactus everywhere. And she was learning how to walk. So she just basically didn't go outside for 3 months because I was like, I don't even want to deal with that. It was stressful.
Yeah, that is. Do you still
Yeah.
have pets in there too, or just the kids?
No,
Just
just
the
the
kids,
kids.
yeah.
And we've talked a lot about getting a cat, but there's one reason. There's one thing stopping us now because we love cats. But we have this one nanny who's like my best friend, and she like is super allergic to cats.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no,
Yeah, it's not worth having a cat to not have the nanny, I guess.
no. And like
Yeah.
also
and it
my best
limits.
friend.
Yeah, it limits so much. And since we go to so many events that are, like skoolie and van life events, and we don't want to limit who can come in and who can't because of an animal.
Or
Yeah.
even like worrying about it running away. Like we did that whole thing and it was great. But someday when we get a house or whatever, we'll have some fun outdoor cats or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got Elon, a dog, but he, yeah.
Did you say
it's-
Elon?
Yeah,
You named your dog Elon?
Like Elon Musk.
Well, who else would it be named after? What other Elon is there?
Yeah.
There's got to be a couple of them out there.
Yeah, he's kind of like, but pre Twitter and all the stuff. Like, man, ever since SpaceX, like that dude's been an idol to me. Like, he did a lot of cool stuff. So I'm like, what better? I've kind of had a track record of naming my dogs after people I liked anyway. Like
That's
the
awesome.
one before him was Bradford from Sam Bradford in the NFL, and I don't know what the dog was before that. But anyway, I don't know. There's something that comes to mind quick.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we had him, yeah, he's just, it's the same thing. When you go on long trips, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Kids are actually easier than dogs because
That's what I say.
you can take kids with you everywhere you
Yes.
go. You know, and
Yes.
you can't do that with a
You
dog.
probably should too.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. Nowadays,
It's illegal if you don't.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
well, once they get a little older, like Connor and Claire, we leave them at home every once in a while for a few hours. But
How dare you?
Yeah,
I could
yeah,
never imagine.
No.
yeah.
You
can't-
know what we talked about is what if we got like an emotional support goldfish?
Wow.
You have to take that thing with you everywhere you went, like a like a.
I think
Yeah.
you have to get a little vest for them that says service.
I just wonder
Service
if people
fish.
would stop you, like, or if they would just like let you.
I don't
go.
think so.
This is 2022. I think you can if you can marry
Uh.
the Eiffel Tower. I think you can get away with it.
Yeah,
True
it's getting weird with that stuff. Man, I'll tell you, when I go into a restaurant and they got a dog with a service vest on, and that's what I'm thinking, man. Like, where does that stop? Do you need your dog at the dinner table with you? Is it hot in here?
It is. It's a little bit toasty.
Why were you doing something?
I did
Just
this because I
fanning.
am a little bit hot.
Well, we're all dressed for winter, and I got the heat rolling in here.
Well, we were performing outside at Silver Dollar City today, so I'm wearing fleece under everything right now. So I'm a little bit toasty.
I'll turn it off.
Thank you.
Brandy, I'll turn it off, and it'll probably chill down immediately. But since we're all in sweatshirts, we should be fine. I
Oh,
think.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
I
Cold's
could do
better
it.
than hot.
It would just get really interesting. We would start talking about really
Everybody
intense
starts
subjects.
shivering.
We're just sweating or we're shivering either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to my mind whenever we talk about like traveling, and then I see your rig and you're in this bus. I don't know if you've seen it all, but we just built a box truck, and you saw our motorhome, right? So we have this. That thing's big, 2 slide outs, bunk beds for the kids. Everybody has their own space. There's a bedroom in the back for us, washer and dryer in it. And we started doing this box truck because it's smaller and easier to get around in. Well, the box truck is only 18-foot box.
Wow.
And I built the whole thing. It was a FedEx truck before, and we built it from scratch. And
Wow.
we're just kind of getting to the finishing stages of it. which next week we're getting a sleeper built on over the cab on the front.
Mm.
And that way the kids will be all the way in the front, we'll be all the way in the back, and then there's
That's
a
sweet.
little bit of space.
Is this on your Instagram?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really do Instagram that much. I don't like Instagram.
So YouTube's is your thing?
Yeah, YouTube, and we started kind of doing a lot of stuff on Rumble.
Rumble, what's that?
Rumble is new.
Yeah. They're just, man.
There's so many things. Why is
If
that
we're
on?
gonna be like honest, so I started putting this podcast on YouTube when I first started it, and our main channel, Ben and Brandy, is on it's on YouTube. Well, since these two accounts are tied together, anything that I might say on the podcast that maybe YouTube doesn't want me to say, I don't want that to reflect on our main channel, which has happened to a couple creators just recently where they were outspoken about something on one of their other channels and they deleted their main channel because of it. I don't know if you follow, like some of these big YouTubers. Steve will do it, is one of these guys.
I don't really do the YouTube thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like we're like in a world where you can't speak your mind in public.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the wrong guy to not speak my mind pretty much anywhere. So being tied
As soon as you said the service dog thing with the tables, I was like, oh
Yes.
yeah, this guy. Okay,
yeah.
Are you from Missouri?
Yeah, like I was born in Missouri. Brandy was from Texas, so we got married really young, and I moved to Texas to kind of. She had like a full scholarship at Texas Tech, so we lived there for a while. We were kind of doing that, and as soon as Connor was born, we're like, well, we better get back closer to kind of family. And that's when we moved to Branson, and that's probably been. How old are you, Connor? 13. That was about 12 years ago.
Wow.
So, and we've been back here ever since.
You guys are so young and you have a teenager.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Brandy and I got married when we were 18.
Oh.
And Connor was born when we were 19.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I have
she
some
was in
friends like
school.
that.
She was in school.
That's
She's got
amazing.
a master's degree and was able to hold like a 3.9 through college with Connor and Clara. Like,
That's
crazy.
so impressive.
Yeah.
Superwoman.
Yeah, it was wild. So
Man, I can barely like get out of the bed in the morning.
I didn't even make it through high school. Like I dropped out of high school, and she's got a master's degree. So
wow.
big difference. But I mean, I was I started my first business when we were out in Texas, and we did that, and just had to make it work until she was able to have an income. So
Wow.
yeah, and now
story.
with YouTube, it's like, gosh, it's so up and down with their revenue and with their view time and now with shorts being introduced to the game, and it's like shorts are, they're hit and miss, and we've been doing really well with shorts, and it's just like stupid stuff, like the trending stuff.
Oh, I hate keeping up with trends. It's so annoying.
I gave up
I
on
know.
it. It's so funny because I'm like, okay, we're at this place on Instagram where I'm like, we've never had 12,000 followers before on anything, except maybe Spotify, I guess. But I'm like, the more we grow in it, the less I want to do it.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
I feel the same way. It's just like, and even like TikTok, I was like on it. I was like, I'm going to post a TikTok every single day. And I'm like putting so much effort into like these TikToks about like our bus and like, our family. And I was having a really great time. And then I started to lose momentum because I posted one that was like 10 seconds of a video of a sign at this gas station in Branson that said cocaine is back. And it like was the only thing that got more than like 10,000. It got like 100,000 views, and I was like, I give up. This is what is making it big, and like I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm having as a musician, full-time travelers, but also musician. Like music is our number one income is shows, playing music out loud.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So number one is music, house concerts, things like that. Second for us is Patreon, and that's it. Those are our money making.
See, we've never done the Patreon thing.
Patreon is awesome. And even that I would include in the realm of like making money from our music, because the people that are Patreons are people that follow our music or like have hosted us for shows and stuff like that. So, it falls in the same category for me.
It's like a lot of work with like the ROI is not as good, but they want and they demand so much from social media. So for me, I have this hard hate-love relationship with it. But at the same time, we've never made money off of Instagram except for, those reel bonuses or whatever.
Yeah.
We get money from that. But
that's what I was doing this. I did this Yellowstone thing for was the bonus program. But so if you're on Patreon, and this is just a question that I have, like what's the point of doing Patreon? Why don't you just do your own pay plan on your website? That's what we do. We have a subscription plan on our website, and then you're not giving a cut to Patreon.
Oh, interesting. I never
Like
well,
literally,
probably because we never ever thought about that as an option.
Yep. Because this is the first time I thought about something like that.
So we started a business, and the business is called Off-Road Recon. So our channel has been in Brandy, but originally our whole channel and everything was Off-Road Recon. And then I'm like, well, creatively, I would rather kind of not be tied to just off-roading. So we rebranded our channel, Ben and Brandy, and Off-Road Recon became our business. And what our business model looks like is basically we travel all over the United States, and we plot out off-grid camping, motorhome camping, tent camping, and we plan all these maps out. And then for $10 a month, you can subscribe to our website, and you have unlimited access to our campsites and basically you can see all of our maps, where we go, where we off-road, where you're able to camp.
That is cool.
Yeah, it is. And that camp that we were at is actually on there. And so you can actually go on there and plug in the size of your RV, and it'll tell you how big of an RV you can fit in a campsite, how many people can camp there, how long you can stay there. And
There needs to be more stuff like this out there, because these are all the questions that I ask when we go to like the, off the beaten path from like iOverlander. I'm like, some people are like, oh, you can make it with a big rig. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what is a big rig?
What's a big rig? What do you mean you can make it? Should I though? Like,
speaking of which, when you guys came in to where we all camped out there, did you come in, when you turned in, did you turn in right or did you turn in left?
we turned in left.
So you came down that windy little narrow
Yes,
road.
we did.
A semi flipped on that the night before we were there.
No way.
Yeah. If you would have looked off, like when you're coming down that road,
It
you
was
look off-
sketchy.
yeah, there was some mudslide stuff there the night before, and I actually ended up in ours is a 36-foot motorhome, pulling my Jeep behind it. I ended up on some little back road that went down through a creek on a low water creek crossing. It was on the straight instead of going left. And I had to go down there, unhook the Jeep, and try to turn that thing around and come back out of there.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, it was wild. And that's whenever I actually talked to somebody, and he's like, yeah, I guess the road was closed down the night before, I think even for snow or something, the main road. And an 18-wheeler tried to cut across there instead of waiting for the road closure, and the road just gave away on the side.
That's wild.
Yeah.
See, and I do get like really scared sometimes when we go out on just like random spots that are on iOverlander, and those are the kinds of questions that I'm asking is like, what kind of road is it really? Because a lot of people on iOverlander especially are in vans, and so they'll talk about like, low clearance and all this stuff, but it means something totally different to them because they're in vans, and I'm
weight.
like,
Your bus is so heavy.
So heavy.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about that, right? Like, and that's why we built the box truck, because we wanted to kind of we were too big for van life, but we wanted to be able to have that van life experience by overlanding in these areas we couldn't get our motorhome.
Well, and also like the motorhome. I mean, like we're obviously like we'll make friends with anybody, but it's totally, you almost would feel like an outsider. Like if we were in our RV and we went to like Skoolie Palooza, it's a different world. It's like.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. There's
it
like,
is weird, the Skoolie, like you got a whole like there's a whole, it's like Jeeps.
Yes.
Like
it's like a
Skoolie is
club.
Like Jeeps, yeah.
I
You
used
guys
vans-
wave at each other on the highway?
Okay, so
Oh
I
yes, you
Skoolies?
find each other. You'll like follow each other to like the next stop and be like, "Hey, it's you."
Well, I used to have a Jeep, so I totally get the whole Jeep wave thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so fun. I miss the Jeep wave, but there's definitely what the Skoolie wave though is a little bit more aggressive.
Yes.
You're hanging out the window.
You're like,
all risking your lives. You're like,
we've had people pull up next to us like in a Skoolie on the highway, and it's not like a hey kind of thing, because you don't see a Skoolie every day.
Yeah.
And so when you see another one on the road, you're like freaking out. Like if we see one at a rest area and we have time to stop, like we're pulling in next to them. We will park 5 inches from another Skoolie in a Walmart parking lot, because they're gonna come meet you. You're gonna say hi to each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question. I don't think we've ever parked next to or near a Skoolie and like not met the people that were in it. You're instantly friends. You instantly are connected. Like it's crazy. And people don't even know that this exists, but it's the coolest thing.
It's really like a human trait, you know. Like you see somebody, if you're a Chiefs fan, you see somebody else that's a Chiefs fan, you like already kind of gravitate towards each other with the Jeeps.
Yeah, sure.
Like everybody clicks
If you
up.
say so, I don't know.
If you say so.
You guys don't watch any sports? Right now?
Nope.
No, I
We
tried
don't
to.
know the sports things.
I grew up like watching the Maple Leafs play all the time because like my whole entire family was super in it. But
Canadian.
Yeah.
It's in his blood. Maple syrup runs through his veins.
Totally. And I was just always into music, and I guess that's where it took. But I can see myself that in another world, if I got into it, I would be so into like sports.
Yeah.
Totally.
I used to watch when we played at Disney Springs. There was like a TV that was right above us and in front of us on our stage. And when the Cardinals were playing, I always watched. Like I would not pay attention
Baseball
to
Cardinals?
Mm-hmm, yeah, baseball. Because I like baseball. That's like the only sport where I'm like, I know almost all of the rules, so I can follow a game. Every other sport, I'm like, I don't know what you're doing.
I
like
can't really
it,
watch
but
anything with football, and I don't watch football anymore, but I used to watch it a lot every Sunday.
It's nostalgic though. Like
Yeah.
I like the atmosphere because my family's always watched it, so I like the whole like snacks, family watching football
Yeah,
thing.
and coming from St. Louis too, you've got a football team. You did have a football
used
team
to.
and a baseball team.
I know,
so.
but now my life's goal is to find my mom like an old vintage St. Louis Rams t-shirt because I like to thrift a lot and I've never found one.
I've probably got one. I've got the original St. Louis Rams blue and yellow starter jacket.
No, you don't.
I've been a Rams fan since like 90, probably 98.
Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, I
saw
was when they
Kurt
won the
Warner
Super
at a
Bowl.
concert in my tiny little hometown. They had a Christian concert for this band called FFH, and Kurt Warner was there, and he was like right in front of us. And like as kids, I didn't watch football, but my
Yeah.
brother liked him.
Oh, you probably
And
went crazy.
we were like, it's Kurt Warner. We were like all waving at him. We were so excited.
I've heard he's like a super nice guy too.
Me too. I
Yeah,
mean, he's got to be
seems
he's
that
from
way.
St. Louis,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know about
I'm
that.
just kidding.
St. Louis has changed so much, man. Like,
Yeah.
we took trips there. Like even when I was a kid, I can remember taking a school trip to the St. Louis Arch.
Oh yeah.
Man, we wouldn't even go down there anymore. Like we went through not too long ago, and it's like just down there where the arch is just all run down.
It was scary even when I was a kid, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. It's a very different place for
Yeah.
I've
sure.
never been to the Arch.
really. It's
You-
so cool.
It's scary.
But yeah, I mean, you
The
might
arch
get
is
another
scary.
bullet hole or two in your bus.
Oh yeah, true
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And not from a ricochet.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know, and it seems like a lot of big inner cities are like that nowadays, just getting crazy. And I don't know if it's because we're so overpopulated or what, but
Everything feels like it's getting overpopulated. Every city that we go to, they're like, "Did you know this is the fastest growing city in the country?" And I'm like, "Weird. I thought we just came from there." Like Phoenix is like the third biggest city now or something, and Boise is apparently the fastest growing city, but so is Nashville though.
I know I have heard that about Nashville.
Nashville
actually.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I even looked it up because everybody in Boise was saying, yeah, this is the fastest growing city in America because all the Californians are leaving and they're going everywhere. Most of them are going to Idaho. And so I even looked it up, and Meridian, which is like a suburb of Boise, was the fastest growing for so long.
Yeah.
And so it was, we were really there.
We started going to Nashville like 8 or 9 years ago, I think, and we would go every month. And even then it was busy, but it was like every time we went, it was crazier and crazier and
Doing
crazier.
gigs there, you mean? Like
We would
music
do
stuff?
like, we would sit in and do like writers' rounds and stuff. We were trying to get famous in Nashville, which is hilarious because like,
It's a little different than country, right?
well, I mean, like they all kinds of music
Yeah.
start there, you know? I mean, there's a lot of genres there. It's not just country music anymore, which is I think why it's changed so much, but it is very like, I don't know. It's very oversaturated, so I'm like, that's not where I would go to try to get famous, but then again, I don't want to get famous, so
Yeah.
that's my defense mechanism for not being famous yet. I don't want to be famous. That's why.
We totally would be
If we wanted to be famous, we would be now. So
Well, at least if you live in a bus, like fans can't find you. You
yeah,
know,
they
you're
can't.
always
A
on the move.
40-foot blue school bus with our band name painted on this. Oh,
You got him with that one, Amy.
Yeah, but I mean, at least you don't have an address, right? So
That's true, but
Yeah.
we were just talking to somebody. There's this couple in Branson that work at Silver Dollar City, and they want to build a bus and all this stuff. They're like, "Do you ever worry about your stuff getting stolen or somebody stealing your bus?" And we're like, somebody stole our bus, how easy would it be for us to find it? Like, you just post on Facebook and you'll have like people saying, I saw it driving down this road. Like, you can't miss it.
Not only that, but it's like it's almost so it's like a tailored pair of pants. You know, it's so customized. It's
Why would anybody else want to steal it? It's like, this would not fit your needs.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have 2 kids and a nanny? I don't think so.
Yeah, and also like if someone was to steal anything, I mean, we just believe it's all just kind of stuff anyway, but we don't
That's
really
how
have.
we think too.
Yeah, it's just like
My truck's sitting down there. Like, my dad's always worried about stuff like that, and he mentioned it on his way through earlier. He's like, somebody's out there stealing those roto packs off your truck. You know, they can have if it's worth stealing something from somebody. It's like a $70. You know, we'll replace it for $70.
Right.
But it's not worth it to me to put a lock on and take a lock off every time I need to use one of those. There's one for diesel, one for gas, and one for water. And you know, you just pull these packs off the side. So I don't ever worry about it. And I've never had anything stolen off of there. I mean, you know, probably going to happen one of these days. The
It
car
happens a
break-ins
lot.
are crazy right now.
Really?
around here.
Yes. No, not around here. Just like inner city stuff. But like, there's people. You ever watch like Mark Rober on YouTube?
Mm-mm.
So you know who he is?
No.
Oh my god.
I'm lame. I really don't watch anything on YouTube except like
How?
when Avril Lavigne comes out with a new music
Do you
video.
guys watch TV much or no?
I watch a lot of PBS Masterpiece. BBC, Great British Baking Show. That's like all I watch.
So like, yeah, I mean, we don't really watch normal TV anymore. Everything you could want to watch really is on YouTube for
What
free.
is normal TV?
You know, like TV shows, Jersey Shore. What are those? other
Oh,
ones used to
Jersey
be?
Shore. Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like a Cheers. I've watched a bazillion times.
He's a comfort
Cheers.
shows person.
Yeah.
He watches
Yeah.
like Frasier, Cheers. We've watched The Office a million times. Gilmore Girls.
The Office, the show, The Office.
Yeah.
Office
Yeah.
Space. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
have.
my.
A
that's
long
one I
time
like.
ago.
Yeah, that's a good
That
one.
used to be one of our comfort movies.
One of
for
my
sure.
favorite
Gosh.
like lines comes to my movie. I'm not gonna say it on here, but I think about it often, and it's so funny.
Well, you got to say it now.
No,
Well,
he won't
No,
say
I
it.
can't do it because
Oh,
if
come
I
on.
post this to like a lot, it's not one of those movies that I wouldn't do because you know we're Christians,
Yeah.
and so it's probably not the best thing to like be like, hey, everybody, all my Christian friends, go check out that movie, you know. But
yeah, that's not the one that I would
oh,
tell
but there's
people to watch.
it's just so it is so funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that whole movie is just funny.
Mhm.
The TPS reports guy, man, he's funny throughout that whole thing.
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
seen it in such a long time. I
Yeah.
barely
keep
remember
forgetting
anything
that
about it.
Jennifer Aniston.
Aniston, yeah.
is in that movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I
She's
forgot
the
about
flair
that.
girl. She's got all the flair.
The flair.
I'm not
Yeah,
wearing
the
a flare.
buttons. The buttons.
Oh
and the-
yeah, I'm telling you, I haven't seen it in
been
forever.
that long. Huh.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we used to watch, and it's like once you have kids, it makes you so hyper aware of like what is in the stuff that you're watching, and you're like, oh my goodness, like
You know where the worst of that is like on kids shows. It's so concerning. Like we did Disney Plus for that new. Claire wanted to see that new Hocus Pocus movie.
oh yeah.
Did you guys watch that?
I never liked Hocus Pocus. I do not like Halloween. I'm not a Halloween
I
person.
love Halloween. But literally, right in the beginning of this Hocus Pocus movie, they start making like Christians and people from church. They're in this church, and they start making them seem just like crazy people right off the rip.
Aw.
And it's like, you know, as an adult, like kids aren't really thinking about stuff like that. And as an adult, you're like, you can see like what they're trying to do. They're like putting that
The
thought,
agenda.
yeah, they're putting that thought and like indoctrinating that into kids young.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's
then
so much of that out
as
there.
an adult sitting down and watching, you're like, man, they're just trying to smear Christianity. You know, that's
Yeah.
what they're doing, right out. And so, like, immediately, I kind of tuned out of the movie. But yeah, it's wild, and there's stuff like that all over. And even like when the kids watch YouTube or anything, like the commercials that come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to get away from it. But I will say, my favorite show right now is Yellowstone. Do you guys watch that at all?
No.
Oh my
I
god.
thought about checking it out. What's it
Yeah.
rated?
I've never
It's
even heard of
violent.
it.
Oh, it's violent.
I hate violence.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am so squeamish about like anything that's gory. I'm just like,
It's not
oh.
really gory. It's just like hardcore.
Oh.
Like it's the first 2 seasons are like whoa, like you can't believe what's going on. And but now like you're into season 5, and it's just like you're supposed to forget everything that happened in seasons 1, 2, and 3 because these people that were like cold-blooded killers before you, like they've made them these nice characters in the movie now.
Oh,
and
man.
they're just supposed to be like normal people, but it's like brutal stuff was going on seasons 1, 2, and 3, and you just forget about it by season 4.
That's kind of like Prison Break. Like some of the guys that were just so awful.
Yeah.
And then you end up kind of liking them towards the end, or like feeling bad for them.
And all of them are like that. They're all like season 5. Everybody's been so likable.
Or like, okay, Downton Abbey, right? Thomas, you hate him the whole show, but he really does redeem himself at the end, right?
Everybody
Downton
wants to-
Abbey, come
I've
on,
never seen
come
it.
on. Oh,
Never seen it.
I'm not surprised.
I was gonna say you kind of were expecting that.
I
think.
was. That was why I
Yeah.
said it. That's what I'm watching right now.
Is that a TV show?
It is a PBS masterpiece,
Oh.
and it is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It is literally one of the greatest shows I think ever created. But I'm like, I love that like old timey kind of like British stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
So
a big fan of
PBS,
it.
that's like air antenna type TV that you're watching. Like you're just tuning into a antenna station or something.
No, it's on Prime, but it's
yeah.
made by PBS, and they have these
So it's
shows.
free, right?
I mean, I pay
Public
for the
broadcast service, right?
I pay for the Amazon Prime
Okay.
to watch it, and you
Okay.
can only watch it on Prime. And then there's a few other shows by Masterpiece that actually pretty much everything that they've ever made I've watched.
The
I'm
Crown. Was
willing-
that Crown? Was that one of them?
No, The Crown is not a masterpiece.
I'm willing to bet
Oh.
PBS probably has a free app and a free thing on their own that you don't have to pay for because PBS is
Oh.
paid for with taxpayer money, so that you kind of have to get it for free.
Interesting.
Yeah, public broadcasting service. That's what PBS stands for.
I don't think you can watch it for free anywhere, and that makes me think that now I need to like delve deeper into this and find
Yeah.
out the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, because it should be. For
It
free.
should be free. You're
Yeah,
right.
PBS is the one that you always like when you you can pretty much tune in on rabbit ears anywhere where you're close to a city, and you always get PBS and like the local station.
That's true.
Yeah, and actually I know that there's a local pack, like when you get a new smart TV, and it includes all the local stuff, and usually PBS is part of that. Now maybe this new exclusive show isn't owned by PBS.
I think that's what it is. I think like the shows they're like partnered with PBS, but like they're with other stuff, so you have to pay for it. It's like high quality stuff. It's
Yeah.
like no joke. I mean, Downton Abbey is like one of the #1 shows of like the last 20 years.
Really
Yes.
on PBS.
It's not on PBS. It's on Amazon Prime.
So then why do you keep saying PBS? I don't
Because
get it.
it's a PBS masterpiece. It's like partnered with
So maybe the
PBS.
producers are from PBS. Or
Something like
Yeah.
that. Whatever, it's good.
I've never heard of it. It's one of the number
It
one
is really
shows.
good. I saw when we were having our second kid, Juno, and waiting for her to be born. Even after, no, was it after she was born?
It
we
was
started
when she
watching
was
it?
a newborn, and we were staying in our
Yeah.
friend's apartment, and he was watching it at night, and she'd go to sleep.
I'd
and
work
we
on
would
the
watch
bus
it.
during the day because we remodeled the whole thing since we had like 2 months where we were just taking off and not
It was
traveling.
3 months.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to touch up on a little bit of that today. I was kind of going. I went back to your bus video. Let's see. You had a playlist specifically for bus stuff,
Correct.
which
yeah.
I think it would be killer if you guys put in there like your actual build process. I saw parts of it, but
yeah,
we didn't
so
document that very well.
well, sort of, not as well. I don't know. I think so.
You-
So there's a bus conversion playlist.
yeah, I saw that. I
And
went
then-
into that.
Okay, so the first 4 of those videos, I think, were mainly the conversions, and then I added more things like if we were doing, adding solar.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah,
do
I saw that too.
Yeah, so things like that. But I think the first 4 are pretty in depth.
It was such like an intense period of time because we had time restraints. Like we
Yeah.
had to get it done in 3 months where we could
Same,
live
that's
in
how
it.
we did ours. Just
And
quick.
so it's hard to like take the time to document and then like edit video during that time. Like from morning till night, he was working in that thing, and then he would just like crash. And
Yeah.
it was like
That was
barely
3 years
ready in
ago.
time.
I'm still tired.
That's how it was when we built our house. We built it 2 years ago, and me and 3 Amish guys built the entire thing from nothing.
So that's going to be a good house because those Amish people know how to build a house.
I mean, we went way overboard with everything, the framing. I mean, everything. But yeah, it was like one of the hardest things I ever did in my life.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I lost like 28 pounds, and we built the house from start to finish in like 73 days.
Whoa.
Bought the property, laid a foundation, built the house, and we lived in it and finished up the last 2 weeks of work while we lived there.
That's crazy.
But we were living in our motorhome while we were building it. And when you have an Amish crew, you're the contractor. I didn't have a contractor, so I had to draw up all the plans, and they don't do electrical or plumbing or anything like that. They literally just put the frame up. So as soon as we had the frame up and the roof on, they left. So
And there was just you.
just me and Brandy to do plumbing,
Whoa.
electrical, insulation, and
Wow.
we did everything else.
That is wild.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
very impressive.
Yeah, everything really changed. Like when COVID happened, like we were living kind of in like a suburbs and we were traveling just when we can. And then our YouTube stuff kind of started to take off a little bit and get some momentum. And like, I'm like, man, I enjoy doing this so much more than the job that I had, which I'd been at the same company for, almost 10 years. And I've been in the same industry for like 16 years.
Wow.
So, I was ready for something different.
Yeah, that is something different.
Yeah, yeah. So like through COVID was really a blessing for us because
Oh my gosh, us too.
yeah, I was able to work with the company that I was with, so I still had my salary, and in that time, I was building the house and then working remote a lot.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, just this last year, about 9 months ago, is when I finally took the plunge and left the company I was with. But probably not a good time to do it for our channel. Like our YouTube and stuff has been down this year over last year, and we're
Oh.
putting out way more content and doing much more. But
I think part of that is just the way that social media has been going. Like, I feel like everybody's been saying that their numbers have been going down on everything. Like,
Yeah.
anyone whose numbers have been high, like, have been getting lower. The algorithms are just like, it's so hard.
well, and people don't want to admit it either, but Rumble is taking a chunk of viewers. Like a lot of these big name guys are going over to Rumble and they're taking their crowd with
What
them.
is Rumble?
It's just like YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, we Rumble has a software built in right now where you can pair their platform up with YouTube, and literally everything you put on YouTube dual uploads to them. You don't even have to do any of the work; they do it
Oh,
all for you.
That's pretty sweet.
We started doing that about 8 months ago. So everything we upload
Two birds
on
with
YouTube-
one really easy stone.
Yep.
That's
It's
kind of what I do with Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't post anything on Instagram except
But now you
for
could
Reels.
start doing it with Rumble. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
If it's that easy, you should do it.
So, like, how many people are subscribed to Rumble, and
Oh,
why
man.
Rumble over YouTube?
It's crazy. Well, because they don't have any kind of censorship. Like they don't. I'll give you an example, and this is what happened to us, and this is when our views really went down. Brandy's sister and her husband live out in Texas, and they live on a farm. And we went out there to visit them, and something that people in Texas do is they hog hunt. And so her brother-in-law was going to take us hog hunting. And I'm like, okay, well, that'll be cool. We'll film an episode. I'll bring my gun, and we'll hunt some hogs. We shot that hog hunting episode, and literally our channel was throttled immediately after that video came out.
Oh, wow.
Like
Yeah.
with comments, or they took it, or the
Throttled views. Like, so we went from our views dropped as a whole like 40%.
Whoa.
Yeah, after that video, and
That's crazy.
they never really came back.
Yikes.
And so you hear all this stuff about shadow banning and all these things, and like, man, Elon Musk has shed a lot of light on that just recently with the Twitter stuff, because for so long nobody could prove that shadow banning was really a thing. Well, now you got the guy that owns Twitter saying this is what our company was doing, which really opens the newly company he just bought. It opens him up for lawsuits.
Yeah.
So he has nothing to gain by doing that. It's all to lose.
Yeah.
So that's definitely happening with these other platforms. It's just, how is it happening? And are you ever going to get somebody as honest as Elon Musk to get in there and prove it? I doubt it.
That's
I mean,
so interesting.
He's kind of like a 1 in a million, but we witnessed it firsthand.
Wow.
And so that's how, obviously it's happening. And then you see some of these big channels. We've got one that we follow. It's actually like a gun guy. His name's Garand Thumb. He's a blast to watch. He's just funny. He was an ex-military.
Was that a pun? He's a blast to watch.
No, but it can be. But anyway, he
When you
does.
said you shot the hog video too, I was like, that must be another.
Ah.
pun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah. So he actually, I put him in our title and everything because he's from Texas, and my brother-in-law, her sister's husband, looks just like the guy. So it looks like I'm out there hog hunting with this famous YouTuber, which he's got like 5 or 6 million subscribers on YouTube. But anyway, I would notice periodically, like I would just get unsubscribed from his channel just randomly for no reason.
Weird.
So yeah, I mean, when stuff like that's happening to people that have gun views or whatever,
Right.
it's just weird to me. And like I'm,
Very interesting.
yeah, I don't care.
Shane
like,
doesn't know anything about that in Canada.
Yeah. Well,
He's like-
there's a guy from Canada. He lives in BC that that we'll probably try to shoot some video with on our way through, like to Alaska or something.
Oh yeah.
The Story Till Now is his channel. Have you ever seen him?
That one actually sounds familiar to me. The Story Till Now.
Yeah,
Does it
yeah.
I feel like I've heard that one
But
before.
he's like a American trapped in Canada, I think.
An American trapped in Canada. Okay, here's my thing about that. And no one ever agrees with me on this, but Canada is in North America, is it not?
Yeah, I mean,
I know, like,
No,
people,
she's made this argument, but she's trying to say I should be telling people I'm American, even though I'm.
you
born
could
in
say
Canada.
I'm North American.
But nobody says that, and nobody ever would. No Canadian, you'll never find a Canadian that says, "Oh, I'm North American." Nobody
Someday.
says
yeah, but
that.
right, you're a legal American now, right, or no?
I am now, so I'm a
He's
dual
a dual.
citizen.
When
There
he
you
goes
go.
to
But
Canada, he
she's trying
says
to
he's
say
Canadian.
she's trying to say like all Canadians should say instead of
He just
I'm
tries to make it
Canadian.
sound like he's so exotic. He's like, I'm not American.
That's what it
Oh.
is. That's what it is.
Before we
I mean,
dated,
there's
he would say that at gigs. Like, there would be like a cute girl in the crowd, and he'd be like, "Oh, in my country, blah, blah, blah," and I'd be like, "You mean Canada?"
She's like,
That's pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah, basically.
I've got a good friend of mine. He's actually from Russia, and they just got their citizenship. Well, it's been a couple years now, but they don't even hardly speak English that well.
wow.
But it's weird, man, because they came from that, right? And they come over here, and they're like the most Americans that I know. Like, and like God-fearing Christians, go to church every Sunday. They live by the code of like the Bible, and so it's weird to see somebody that really lived under real oppression, like over there. When they get here, they're like, "Man, what is everybody crying about?"
I
right.
know.
They
That's
love it.
we say that all the time,
Yeah.
and like people. I mean, no country is perfect. No
Yeah.
government is perfect. Like, obviously, it's impossible.
But this is the best.
But like, if we're gonna compare it to what's going on in the world, I'm
Yeah.
like, let's suck it up a little bit, you
Yeah.
guys. Like, we can make it better always.
Yeah.
We can always improve, always make things better. But let's not complain about it so much.
People need to feel what like it's really like to really be oppressed, and not just say that
We
you
don't
are.
know what oppression
No.
is here.
I went
like,
to this church
Ain't nobody.
service in Florida, and the pastor, it was like a really big church, and he was just talking or whatever, and then he said, "I always get annoyed when people say God has left this country," and he's like, "You will know when God leaves this country or when He takes His hand off this country." Because I mean, we have it so good here.
Yeah, I
It's
don't think
so
God
true.
leaves anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think He just walks away from anything.
Yeah, I think He'll lift off His protection from a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
You know, I always think about like how I'm literally reading right now where He had to do that with the Israelites. Like when the Ark of the Covenant got taken away, it was a really public statement from God saying, "I have left this nation." You know. To do their own thing. Like He's still there and He still works in individuals and things like that. But as a nation, He's just like, all right, you
Yeah.
know, I am
Washing my hands of this.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But still, the plan of a remnant, and it was going to come back, and everything's good when Samuel and David come in and all that. But anyway, yeah, like you'll know it when God takes His hand off this country.
Yeah.
'cause-
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen, and we don't have to know it. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I think that everybody's just gotten so used to not having real problems that we try to make problems.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the problems are just stupid little divisive things, and like I
Man,
don't.
when
really,
I hear some of the stuff people complain about and things that I complain about, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, like
Yeah.
I cannot believe the way that we view the world sometimes.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
the division that's created. It's almost like these boundaries and these divisive things are put up so that everybody's kind of squabbling amongst each other's, and then God knows what's happening in the background. But
True
I don't
that.
know. I try not to fall for any of it, and I try to recognize like how good we. I mean, even though you may be, especially in diesel, and you guys know you're getting $5 a gallon right now. It's like
Oh yeah,
It
we're
could
going to
be
California
worse.
next month too, so that's gonna be
Driving?
fun. Yeah.
that's like what 26 hours. on
Well, we're going to Phoenix first, and then we're going to California from there. But prices in California are always higher
Yeah.
on gas and diesel. But
Higher
like,
on everything.
we were there in March of this last year, and
It
I
was
think
$18 a gallon.
no, it was like
Okay.
$6.50 a gallon.
It was
Like
a lot.
Yeah.
it was crazy. So,
Yeah.
but it's all part of it, and we really do feel like, I mean, God always provides what we need, and if we don't have enough gas money to go to the next place, well, guess we're not going, and we weren't supposed to. I mean, it just is what it is. You have to take things in stride and try not to be, too upset about it.
I will say, when it comes to traveling, a really fun thing to talk about, and maybe this will shift the whole conversation. Who knows? But
Do you want it to?
I don't know. It's fun. I'm a shifter.
Religion and politics. You don't want to talk about religion and politics?
Religion and money. So I think the best thing that we ever did is we've been traveling for 6 years full time with Dad, and this has been the first year that we traveled a whole year without it, and the differences are
awesome.
amazing.
Having a budget too, so freeing. Like, this is the first year that we've really it's the first year we've taken control of our finances at all. Like, we're finally having our taxes done correctly, although we didn't know that it wasn't being done necessarily like the right way before.
Yeah.
But like taxes, having a budget, like saving money, getting ready to start investing, and being debt free, like, it's so cool. We had a Christmas budget this year.
Wow.
It was so fun.
We didn't stick to it, but
Well,
we had one.
We never do either.
I stuck to the Christmas budget. You didn't stick to the Christmas budget.
She did not. I did not either. I'm admitting that.
He
But
just-
she did not.
the other
I'll show
day-
you. You know what? Let's show you right
The
now.
other day, we went out and he treated me to like my Christmas present. We went to the Stampede and we went and got Christmas presents for the kids together. And it was so much fun. And then he was like, all right, now we're done. We're on a spending freeze. And we're walking out of Target. He's like, I'll meet you in the car. I found a Christmas present for you. And I was like, oh,
We just
cool.
did that.
He spent $330.
Ah.
I don't know what it is, but I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's right. It's not
So
Christmas
he
yet.
said, I just won't have any of my fun money for the next 2 months. And I'm like, but that means now I'm going to have to buy you coffee for my fun money for the next 2 months when we go out.
It's the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah, so you're getting it back.
Uh-huh.
Right, you know? So
This was his plot.
So-
how was you went to Dixie Stampede? How was that? Was it good?
It was
it was great.
Yeah.
so much fun. The
I love
food
that
was
soup they bring you, that sip soup.
And
Oh
you
my
can
gosh,
like
it's
dip
good.
your.
We dipped everything in it.
Yeah.
I dipped the biscuit, the chicken, the
Yeah.
potato.
goodness,
I
I'm
didn't dip
so
the corn.
hungry.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And because we work at Silver Dollar City, we got in for free.
Yeah.
It was
They used to
sweet.
do that like here. If you carried their brochure kiosk thing here, you could get into Silver Dollar City and Dixie Stampede for free.
I love that
So
is a
we used to do
culture
that.
around here where
Yeah.
like people
Mhm.
just trade. Like we went to Shepherd of the Hills, and me and our nanny Natalie, we rode the mountain coaster like 3 times yesterday,
Yeah.
and then it was just so much fun that we get to do that stuff without having to.
Titanic. We did the Titanic.
Go
Titanic's
broke.
awesome. We've done that several times.
I think I want to go back without the kids so we can actually.
Re-
Did they did they do
Stuff.
the cold water? Your hand in the cold
Yeah,
water thing?
man, that was
Clara
awful.
beat us all on that. She could just keep it in there.
We didn't do the test to see how long we could hold it.
Oh.
Yeah, we just put our hand in it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clara held it in there for like 35 seconds, and like literally after 10 seconds, it felt like somebody smashing your hand with a hammer. So she did
no
good.
kidding. I only put
Yeah.
my hand in and took a nap.
That's
Now
so
I'm really
scary.
curious. Let's go
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that museum was a little bit depressing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is a little bit,
especially
but it's cool.
when like it shows you like how steep you had to like climb up.
Oh
that.
my
yeah,
gosh.
that's a fun part.
It's pretty intense.
That's one of the things that's so cool about Branson. It's just packed with like family stuff that you can do like that, and it's
There's
all so much fun.
We've been here since November 6th with the ability to do all this stuff for free.
Yeah.
And seriously, we've barely done anything. Like,
Where have you guys been? I saw in one of your videos you were doing some church stuff. Was that at the one out here at the old magic show? Is that the where
Church stuff.
you went to church out here? Was that on 248? You went to church?
So I went to two churches while we were in town.
Mhm.
We went to Bloom.
in Friendly Baptist. I didn't
No,
go.
no, Bloom Friendly. Oh, we did go to Friendly Baptist too.
I
and
didn't.
then we went to
The Woodland Chapel.
Woodland Hills or
Woodland
whatever.
Hills.
Oh,
That one wasn't in the vlog, though.
if
No,
you
it
get
wasn't.
time, go to James River. It's just down the road a little ways in Ozark.
That's the one
Biggest
that the
super
chaplain
church.
from Silver Dollar City
Yeah.
goes to.
That's where we go.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely amazing.
It's
Well, yeah, I mean, so a little guilt here. I'll tell you what I started going there for is they got like 3 Starbucks in the church. So I'm like, yeah, I can have my coffee. I can get up and walk out whenever I want. Like, I can't sit still in church long enough to like really pay attention. So I get up and
Oh.
move a lot. But literally, the place is so big, nobody even knows.
it's.
And
I
can
can't
go to
believe that you
Starbucks
haven't noticed it. Like
you
every
gotta
time we
check
go
it
to
out.
Springfield, I'm
Live
like,
band.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Their
That's
band is
crazy.
really good, and they got several singers, and it's like
That's
going to a
crazy.
show for free every Sunday.
Now I'm curious. Yeah, Woodland Hills.
it's
Just
really
the
cool.
second I walked in, so the drummer that plays at Home for Christmas at Silver Dollar City invited me to that church. She's like,
Uh-huh.
I'm playing drums there. You should come. So I went, and just the second I walked in, the feeling and the vibe, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it was so great. Like
Yeah.
it felt like home.
Yeah.
I'm from like a small town, and I like grew up going to small churches.
So did
and
I. A small Baptist church.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love and my home church is like I can't remember what category it falls in. It's not a small church, but it's definitely
Methodist?
it's nowhere near mega church. No,
Yeah.
it's a Calvary Chapel.
Oh, okay.
But I love it. Like, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to go to like the big churches and everything, but I love the small, like, little old ladies playing the
Everybody
piano and
knows
singing
you.
hymns. Like, it
Yeah.
makes my heart so warm.
everybody knows your name.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love it.
we got married at a church like that, and one of the things the pastor said before he would marry us, we had to go to church there, and so we started going to church there for I don't know, a month or so. I remember we showed up late one day, and he like announced it while he was doing his sermon over the thing. Oh, there's the Ferris bunch. And it's like in those small churches, man, everybody knows everybody, and I'd rather just kind of blend in the background.
Yep.
But that's how small churches are. And we used to go to my
Mhm.
grandma's church for every Easter, and it's like they pack you in. And there's everybody knows who you are there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know there's definitely some, and that's how I always, growing up, that's the kind of churches that I went
There's
to.
something for everybody though. Like I love it because like there are a lot of people who do not want to go to a small church like
Yeah.
that. And when I was a kid, I always wanted to go to a bigger church. But as an adult now, I'm like, oh, I like going to a small church. You
Yeah.
know, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's something for everybody.
Something for everybody.
Everybody you're allowed to like, isn't it cool? Like you can like going to a big church and it doesn't mean that you don't love Jesus or church. And
Yeah,
I
I
can like
mean-
going to a small church and it doesn't mean that I don't love Jesus.
As long
crazy?
as the executives at YouTube don't disagree with you.
Yes.
Then you're good to go. Imagine if we lived in a world though where like we all like
Had to agree.
Yeah,
We're kind of getting there.
or what? Well, right.
Oh man.
But what if like the fact that you like that or like this or you like this taste in this or this? I think we forgot that we are all such different, unique humans.
Amen, man.
And then like it is so to me it's so strange that you could like beets, but I think it's amazing. You know,
Yeah.
that's cool that you do. Someone's
Yeah.
got to eat them. You know, or
100%.
like it's
And
just
speaking
yeah.
also like, I was gonna tell you this and I forgot, so we're just gonna say it right now. But in
Uh-oh.
my whole, I'm doing this like reading through the whole Bible in under 2 years because it's like not as much as reading through it in 1 year. Like I can kind of digest it more. It's like smaller portions and you read a little bit every day. But I read this verse the other day and man, I need to find out where it was because I can't remember who it was that said it. It was like Peter or somebody, but it was so good and I've never noticed this verse before. And
It was
he's
Gandalf, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Gandalf, the lesser known 14th apostle or whatever. How many apostles were there? 13, right?
Apostles?
Yeah,
12,
12.
right?
The 12 apostles.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Anyways,
the disciples. Anyway, go ahead.
the verse said, it literally says, as long as Christ is being preached, it doesn't matter if it's from a good heart or a false heart. It says that in the Bible, and I was like, wow, that's so powerful to remember, like, especially in the world of, like, people following Jesus, being Christians, and how we all have different opinions on how people are sharing Christ and how churches are doing this and doing that. And literally, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, God's going to use it. Whether someone is, like, doing it for these intentions or those intentions, God's going to use it because he's so much bigger than the intentions of our hearts. Isn't that good?
It's true because even with the best intentions, we're all crazy.
We're still
Yeah.
going to fail.
Yeah.
See, the problem is there's so many people now, and the cool thing is like to be anti-religion or anti-God or atheist.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have all these people that get to be that way, well, there really is no right or wrong. Just kind of like whatever I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I've actually got a brother like that, and I don't talk to him that much anymore, but I just talked to him the other day, and he's one of those where if you disagree with him, he gets mad about it, and he doesn't like you because you don't like the things that he likes. Which with me, I can pretty much disagree with anybody and not feel any different personally about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
I have so many friends that are so different all over the spectrum.
Yeah.
I'll actually bring up one of them, and he's probably going to watch this. He
Hey.
Yeah, his
Hi.
name's Mike, and actually he wasn't even like when we started our YouTube channel. This is when we were smaller, and I did a fan meetup when we had like our first I don't know, 2,500 subscribers or something. And not many people showed up, like 3 people.
Out of 2,500.
That sounds like our Patreon monthly calls.
Yep.
Yeah, which is, you
Phil
know.
is always there.
Hey, when you're showing up for an event, like actually in person in Ozark, Missouri, and even though, so this one person, his name's Mike, and he's like a hippie kind of guy. He's got long hair, and he's like got this retro camping gear. And he comes out there. He's not even driving a Jeep. He's driving like a Mitsubishi Montero, you know, whatever he could afford. He still drives that thing. And but somebody that, you know, more than likely I probably would have never ended up hanging out with if it wasn't for the creativity of the YouTube stuff and like knowing all these people and then being open-minded. Like, because I'm never, you know, like I'm pretty open-minded with anybody I meet. But anyway. He's literally the only person that follows our YouTube channel that I have probably met up with, I don't know, probably 10 times at this point. And he's like always wanting to go camping and hang out. And he's actually doing a little hippie, what do they call those, a hippie van? Isn't that a thing?
A hippie van?
Yeah, like the little VW hippie van.
The
Oh,
buses.
VW bus.
Yes, he's building one of those right now.
Oh, I love
And
those.
so I can't wait to do like a video shoot with we'll take our box trucks. We have like this big diesel box truck and it looks like a military vehicle. And then he's got like his VW bug van.
That sounds
It's going to be
so
a blast.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to that trip.
Do you ever go to the Overland Expo?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're actually the storytellers at the Moore Expo every year.
Were you at the Overland Expo in Flagstaff this year?
No, that brother that I was just telling you about, he was there though.
Oh, really? We were there. We played music there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're going again
You
this
guys
year.
should
We
do More
are.
Expo. More Expo's in Springfield,
Oh.
and it's like getting huge. We're a storyteller there every year, but our box truck and our Jeep will be on display there this year.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
What are the
tell us when
dates?
it is.
What is it?
I think it's April.
Oh, no way.
Oh my gosh.
We're literally going to be around here like
I will
early
give
April.
you the CEO's
That's
information.
crazy.
Let me see here. I can tell you exactly when it is.
Around the air booking stuff.
Also, like in our community of like schoolies and vans and stuff like that, I mean, we have friends from every different background, every different belief, every different lifestyle that you could imagine. And it's so cool because when you're in this community and you meet up at these van life gatherings or like Schoolie Palooza, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, there are some people that maybe don't get along or don't hang out, and there's always drama going on behind the scenes here and there. But like for us, we have so many like close personal friends who we love, and we've talked about all the things we disagree on. Everybody knows how we feel about everything, and it doesn't change your relationship at all.
It's so refreshing because I wish everybody could just be that way.
Right.
Like somebody can literally tell me something that I completely disagree with, but like that's me. Like I have a certain thought or a certain feeling somewhere. That doesn't mean if everybody felt and thought and talked the same way, it would be a really boring life.
Be a very boring life.
So I don't know why anybody even thinks that they want it that way.
yeah.
But this brother that I was telling you about, like basically all in this one phone call, he just told me he's atheist now and he's a socialist now, and there was something else. And even
So he's not going to watch this probably.
well, I don't know. Sometimes the hate runs deeper than the love. You know
True
that? Do you ever see? I mean, you guys are like on your YouTube videos. We have haters sometimes that will show up more religiously than our lovers. You know, people that love our channel. They'll show up just
They're
hit
like,
the
I
dislike
hate you
button
so
and
much.
say
I'm just
something.
going to keep coming to
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
on you.
Man.
We haven't had anybody, we're not big enough for that to happen yet.
And
We've
the
gotten
creeps.
comments that are not nice.
Oh
Have
my
you got the
gosh.
creeps like yet? The creepy people?
No, one guy once commented and said that he thinks that we're better than. He's like, you guys think you're better than everybody, and I don't know why, but
He said, all you have going for you is your pretty wife.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
yeah.
what he said.
Yeah, I could tell you some really doozies. I did a video. Brandon and I were driving one time, and I read these back and then made my response on video. It was like one of our #1 videos that year.
I bet it was really funny,
Oh,
though.
it's funny. But some of the stuff you would be surprised that people say stuff.
I'm
like
not
that.
surprised because
Yeah.
I might not have seen it on
wild.
our channel, but I've seen it on other people's
Yeah.
channels. We posted this TikTok of our daughter who's almost 2. She had like snuck a sip of Shane's like iced mocha, and I took it away from her because I was like, oh, you can't be drinking that. It's coffee. And she's like, coffee. And she's crying and she's going, coffees. And I posted it because it's so funny. And I was like, it's relatable, right? That's how we feel. Of course, that was the only other TikTok that got a lot of views because
So we never did the TikTok thing because of the whole Chinese spies.
I don't know anything about that.
That's
a new one for me. I listen to a lot of conspiracy theories, but I
Really?
haven't heard
Well,
that one.
did you know they're actually it's a big thing right now, like in the Senate and in the House, banning TikTok because of
Good.
that. Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate
I
TikTok.
think we might be done with TikTok.
I'm,
We gave it
I'm
a
looking
good
forward
go.
to it though, because all those people that are so brainwashed with that short ADHD attention deficit stuff on TikTok are going to move to YouTube.
Oh, that's
And
true.
then your shorts on YouTube are
Or
going to start getting
Instagram.
crazy views. Yeah, I don't know.
Reels are pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the same stuff that's on TikTok.
Do you ever flip through the YouTube shorts?
I haven't
No.
done that yet, but I literally, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I was like, you know what? I think the next big thing is going to be YouTube is probably going to start doing something that's like Reels or
And I'm like,
TikToks. And he was
Emily,
like,
they
it's
already
already
are.
out there. And I
I
was like,
posted
well.
one like 2 months ago. I posted a few, and then they didn't really go anywhere.
Well, you want a little
Messed up.
insider secret?
Yeah.
They have the things called the short shelf. And if you do hashtag shorts at the end of a video that's 60 seconds or under, you have a chance of it getting put on that short shelf.
Oh.
And then that's when they blast it out. I had one. What's viral when you say like what's a good view
I
on
guess anything
TikTok?
over 100,000 views.
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah, I don't ever see those kind of numbers.
Oh, we only got it
Those
on.
are TikTok numbers.
We just got it on that one video that
Yeah.
said cocaine is back. And
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
That's the story of TikTok though. That's what's so crazy about it because anybody could go in there and do that, and it hits their algorithm.
But
It's
they'll
like,
never get a video like we did the coffee one with her, got like 80,000 views or something.
Yeah.
And that was the one that we got hate on. People were like, she's asking you to change her diaper.
oh.
And
Really?
Shane was like,
What?
what's a diaper?
I
Just-
started commenting back.
I
some
am
fun
too.
stuff.
When I get trolls, I just troll back. Like,
Because it's just so dumb. It's like, oh, she's telling you to feed her because she's hungry and you won't give her any food. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
we had the same stuff,
What?
man. I try to keep our videos like I don't act different on our videos. I try to keep them as real as possible. And I got on the kids one time for fighting in the back seat while we were out in Moab, Utah, and we're all in the Jeep, and they just would not. They were just bickering back and forth. So I got onto them, and it stayed in the video. I had so many comments about what a bad dad I am.
Wow, how
and my
dare
kids
you
deserve
tell your
better.
kids not to
It's like-
fight with each other?
Yeah, it's like, man, like these people that like I think it all kind of summed up very simply. Everybody on the internet is a professional something. And everybody wants to tell you how to do this or do that, or when it comes to parenting or fixing your bus or whatever you're doing.
Armchair experts.
Exactly.
I've never
They're
had.
thick.
I've never had the desire though to go on to
And like say something horrible to
No.
somebody.
It's
No.
it's Reddit people. People that are on Reddit love to do that.
They do.
The same
'Cause
brother
that's
that
the
I have that
culture.
way.
It's
Yeah,
the culture
It's like
of
know-it-all culture.
And it's like, it's almost like in a satirical manner. It's
Yeah.
like you're doing it and you know you sound like a know-it-all, but it's the culture and everybody kind of thinks it's funny and it's accepted there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on
Brandy
Reddit for a
absolutely
while.
despises Reddit.
I hate it now, but I liked it for a while.
When we first started our YouTube channel, we were like kind of peddling some views that way. And Brandy would have to kind of get on there every once in a while, and that's all it is know-it-alls on there. And she,
Yep.
I mean, that was the biggest thing.
That's
she
why I
dreaded.
liked Reddit.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a know-it-all. I don't know it all. Like I'm not as smart as a lot of other know-it-alls, but when I do
Get
know
on there and give your
something,
advice.
but when I do know something, I'm really obnoxious about it.
I can attest to
Oh,
that.
it's so bad.
So I actually, that's something that I know I'm going to keep getting off on these little side subjects, but something I really wanted to talk about is the maintenance, your bus maintenance. Like, are you savvy? Are you savvy?
I'm not savvy, but I do
He's
it.
learning.
You guys are breaking
Yep.
down, right?
It's
no.
only happened twice technically, and it was just both times it's been like the acceleration rod.
Yeah, I just had
What
to fix
year's
the
your
rod.
bus?
91.
How many
It's
miles
old.
are on it?
Good
When we
question because
bought
the
it-
speedometer's broken.
When we bought it though, it was 85,000 miles.
Oh, that's nothing.
yeah.
No, it was great.
diesel.
And the guy that owned it before us, he drove it 5 miles every week to take stuff to the flea market. So it had regular, like the engine was running, but not a bunch. So he didn't put a ton of miles on it. Honestly, we could not have gotten a better bus.
Yeah,
and like,
that's
But here's a fun story. Okay, so maybe not mechanical things, but like since we built the bus, like we know how to do the plumbing, the electric, the
Sure.
everything. And so for me, our diesel heater went out and it gave the code. And so when I looked up the code, it said that it was a glow plug. So we ordered the glow plug. It came in the mail, and I fixed the freaking glow plug. And
Shane
it
had never put
worked.
a nail through a piece of wood before we built this bus. Like,
was like,
neither of
"What's
us knew
happening?"
anything, but like he's figured out how to do that. He's fixed like the accelerator rod on our engine a couple times, but like for big stuff, like we just took it in and we needed to get new tie rod ends and have our tires balanced properly and stuff.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
No.
You know, we got new brakes this summer, but like as far as the other stuff goes, it's just like
Water pumps and things like that.
Yeah,
Where it'll-
I just did a glow plug relay on our diesel. This is our first diesel we've ever owned, which I picked a horrible time to buy a diesel with gas
oh
prices.
yeah.
Because our other motorhome is a big V10, big gas motor. And I always hated filling it because it was like $300 to fill it.
But
Now
I
it's
feel like it
worse.
almost balances out in the end because you do
Mileage.
you get
Yeah.
really good, like the bus drives for so long and it is expensive, but I mean it's probably close to the same as what we spent when we were in our RV.
So
it's probably a little bit more.
you said glow plug on
Diesel heater.
so diesel heater like HVAC for the inside.
Yeah, so they're
Is it a
just
Chinese one or is it like
Yeah,
It's
it's the Chinese
one.
It's
That's
like
what we
this
have.
they're like
little- yeah.
$120. We have one in our bedroom and one out in like the dining area, kitchen,
I'm so
living room because they're all in
surprised.
the same place.
And we just bought a new one, so I'm gonna put one in the front
Yeah.
now too.
You would not believe how we never even use two of them at the same time because
no,
even when it's this
They'll
cold,
burn us out.
Yeah.
That's why I put in the box truck. I
They're
wanted
amazing.
everything to run off of my diesel tank when I built the box truck.
smart.
So I plumbed. I had to spend a lot of money to get an own and diesel generator. So we have an onboard generator.
Oh,
And so we have
interesting.
Yeah, we have electricity. I mean, we can literally pull off grid and park anywhere we want for, I would say 3 weeks before we
What
gotta go
about
anywhere.
your stove top?
I did propane, just stove,
Ah.
and I did a propane instant hot water heater.
That's
Because
that's what we
That,
do too.
same. That's
Yep.
the only stuff we use propane for. But it's so annoying because like I would so much rather not use propane for anything. But you cannot find a stove or oven that like is energy efficient that uses electricity. But I bake and cook all the time, so like
Yeah.
I have to have it.
Yeah, propane's your best bet.
I
for
know,
sure.
but
Are
I
you
hate
running on
having
little
propane.
bottles or big bottles?
It's a big one. It's just one big tank. But I mean like. It lasts us forever. We
Yeah.
only fill it up once a month at the most.
Oh yeah, no,
Filled
it's,
it like a Love's or
it's
something
more like
that?
every 3 months.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's
And when
nothing
we
then.
were in our RV, it was crazy because our fridge ran on propane, our oven and stove ran on propane, the water heater, and our heating system. So in the winter, if we were somewhere cold, we had to refill our propane every 2 days.
Yeah, that's how all the big RVs do it, and the reason why is because it's so damn cheap to do it that way.
It is cheap, but it's cheaper to do diesel heat.
No, I mean cheap for them to buy those appliances.
Yeah,
They want-
exactly.
If you go buy a high-end diesel heater, they're expensive.
They
Yeah, they're
are.
like $1,200.
Yeah,
or
I'm trying to
something.
remember the name of the.
But the
one.
little Chinese ones, like they're great
That's
because
what we have two of those. and
literally,
never
you
had
know
any
what you
problems.
can do
I
is,
carry an extra fuel pump.
and
We've
if,
definitely had problems.
if it breaks though, just buy another one.
Yeah.
It's $120.
That's why I was gonna say I'm surprised he even did the glow plug. I would have just bought a new one and been done with it.
No, because it's good to learn how to do these things. And
Yeah.
when we were in Flagstaff this last winter, we had tons of problems with our batteries and our diesel heater because they don't operate well at high altitude, which we didn't know.
Do you use the high altitude mode?
We figured out along the line that you can do that, but it
I
was
leave
like
mine on
when
all
we
the
were
time.
leaving. So, but
Hey, if Silver Dollar City's not canceled on Friday, you should totally come over and help me put in the diesel heater tomorrow. What are you doing?
tomorrow, while it's snowing,
Totally. Why not?
Well, I got in-laws in town, so that sounds pretty good.
oh
I'm
no.
kidding.
I hope they watch this.
I keep forgetting that like we're on camera and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, have I been making really weird faces?
Well, we'll find out.
And we'll
that,
get the comments.
So we've got, the one camera looks down on the table, and that one does a close up of you guys, and that one
A close-up?
Yeah, pretty close.
Is my
Wait,
face
so
shiny?
there's that one. Is there another one? Oh, there's one over there.
Yeah, that's the main camera. You'll be surprised at how legit this turns
My
out.
face is probably shiny. I didn't touch anything up
Oh,
before I
looks
came in here
fine.
because I was thinking podcast.
The lighting in here does pretty good on like making it look pretty realistic too.
Cool.
I had Brandy sitting there trying to get it right because
I
with
want
her
it to look
makeup,
better
it's
than
shiny.
realistic.
That's how we sound too, right?
Absolutely.
Like my voice sounds a lot better on here than it does in real life.
Yes.
But
I'm just kidding.
I noticed. I didn't want to say anything.
But no, yeah. So when we did ours, I wanted everything on diesel. Obviously, I wanted an instant hot water heater because when you're that's another thing I want to ask you about yours is the winterizing. But anyway, so all the diesel stuff I tied right into my main tank, and the Chinese heater I thought the same thing. Oh yeah, I was gonna say the high elevation mode. I leave it in that all the time because your fuel pump ticks slower. And when your fuel pump's ticking slower, you're using less fuel. And those things burn up they're so hot anyway.
Yeah, they are.
I don't ever even run it on high.
Sometimes we have it set up so high, and I'll come out in the middle of the night, and I'm just like turning it down because I'm so hot in the middle of the night when it's
because
so
the
cold.
front of the bus doesn't get
It's
as warm as you
drafty
want.
up front.
Yeah.
Very drafty.
Do you have an onboard generator or no?
No, it's not on board.
Oh, I saw it. It's
yeah.
on the back, right?
It used to be. We have a different one now. It's smaller.
It's
and
the quiet one.
It's the Predator.
You got a remote?
No.
Oh, the Predator from Harbor Freight.
Yeah, because it's super cheap, and you can with the warranty, if you have any problems, you just
get
take
a new one
it
from there
for infinity and beyond.
Yeah.
You pay for it, but it's not as expensive as getting a new one.
Do you leave it right on that back deck when you run it, or do you put it somewhere else?
I will leave it on the back deck and tie it around underneath, so I can lock it up there.
Gotcha.
But I'll leave it up there. But no, it's normally under. So our back bus opens, and then I have it stored underneath our bed.
Yeah.
But not while it runs, obviously.
You could put a Stellar Onan on there, like a diesel.
We used to have an Onan generator on our RV, and I'm not going to lie, it did not make us a believer because we have never had to fix anything or put more money into something than that stupid generator
Really?
that
Was it
still
diesel or
didn't
gas?
work. It was
Gas.
gas, but
Oh.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would rather do the warranty on a freaking Predator for the rest of my life.
Is to completely, because we're all solared out right now, but the idea.
We want to be totally self-sufficient on solar, which we'll get there eventually. I mean, we'll probably always have a little generator just in case, but
Yeah, don't get I've learned my lesson, with electric stuff. There's this guy traveling across from L.A. to New York right now, and he's doing an electric van that he made. You watch that dude?
like an electric engine.
He did a conversion. He put a Tesla motor and all this stuff into an old I keep wanting to call them hippie vans, but I don't know what they're called.
VW bus.
VW bus. And he went all the way from there to there. It looks like a nightmare. Perfect for YouTube content.
Yeah.
But literally, he drives 150 miles or 200 miles, and then he stops and charges for 17 hours.
No, we'll never do that. I will never do an electric engine unless they make it
Gotta
more
have
efficient.
backup gas.
Did you hear the one what they're doing with the semis now? They can go 500 miles.
Yeah, Tesla does some crazy stuff, man. Those are cool, and they're quick charge, so you can charge them quick. But I mean, to me, there's just not enough. I don't know. The whole system has got to be built better for electric before I'm willing to switch.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when
I
trying
talk
to
about
force it's just not I had an electric car for a couple of days here, and there was 2 or 3 charging stations at that time. I'm like, this is miserable. And then you get there, and other people are already using them. It's just not practical. You can't take a society, which is America, and say, we're gonna go electric now.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this. We're on a 5-year plan.
It's
there's
gotta
too many
take
cars.
time.
Yeah, 20 years. I would think is a good number to say we can start kind of weaning.
Yeah.
But still, everybody's electricity still runs off coal and everything else.
I mean, when I talk about solar and everything running off solar, I'm not talking about the engine.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the house stuff.
Makes sense.
Everything,
Yeah.
air conditioners, which we can already do that now pretty well, but
Everything. Yeah, our solar is perfect for what we have,
we need more
except for
panels.
AC.
We need more solar panels. In the summer, at nighttime. During the day, we could run our air conditioners and be fine, but I want them to run all night.
Yeah, and the other thing that kind of sucks is you probably do lithium batteries, right?
Yeah.
So
Battleborn.
lithium batteries are great, but as soon as they decharge or you get in really cold climates, they start acting up.
So do you want to hear what we
They're
did?
so expensive. You heat
Oh,
Well, no, I'm
No.
really
Heat it.
interested.
No?
because we did that, but the heaters used a lot of power, so we just moved them inside.
Yeah.
So now they're in our bus because they're safe to do that. But you mentioned winterizing. Everything in our bus is built on the inside. So as long as the inside of our bus is warm,
Which it always is because we live in it. So, we've had our gray water tank sometimes will freeze if it's negative temperatures for.
You got a little
A
valve
long
on your
time.
gray water you can just leave open.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what I do on mine.
Oh yeah, but
I
mean,
forget it's open sometime. We were camped in a Walmart last weekend, and Brandy took a shower in there. There's soapy water all over the parking
Oh,
lot.
yeah,
right
that
now.
happens to us
We gotta get out
all the
totally,
time.
totally.
Some Karen will come yell at us for it.
But yeah, no, I mean, sometimes the gray water tank will freeze, when we went to Flagstaff last year, because it was negatives for days and days and days. But typically, we're not in those kinds of winter temperatures, and even then, that's not a big deal. No,
Yeah.
the pipes aren't going to burst. All of our pipes run through our floors, and so we haven't had any issues with that stuff. So
Yeah, and if
we
they're
don't winterize.
packs. Did you do packs when you did
Yep.
plumbing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll stretch.
I
They'll
talked to
expand.
somebody at a tiny house festival who said that he bought a camper for like $1,000, and he's like, we want to rebuild it. And he was like, we bought it from this guy. We went in there and we asked him what he did for winterizing, and he was like this old guy, and he'd had this camper for like 40 years, and he would just use whiskey.
Yeah, hey.
He was like, you cannot imagine what it smelled like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. It's just really expensive.
I'm like, that sounds way harder
and,
and
only
more
use the
expensive.
real, you know, like 80-year-old scotch or something.
Yeah, high alcohol content.
Oh,
Guys running short on time?
yes.
We are, because we have dinner plans tonight. We're going to get soup, salad, and breadsticks at Olive Garden. It's my favorite. I've been talking about doing this for weeks. I've been
That's
wanting to do
on the way
it.
back to Silver City, too, right there on the left, right?
Yeah, so we're camping at Branson View Campground, so it's like up on that big hill.
When
So
does this
you-
podcast come out?
I'll probably put I'll go through and find some cool spots and probably put them on our main channel tomorrow, and then it'll probably say some kind of exclusive or something, and probably next week for the full thing.
Okay, good.
But
we
it'll
won't
be
be staying there anymore, so people can't come and find us.
Yeah, no, it'll go out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify a little sooner, but
Brilliant.
yeah.
As long as we're out of town by then, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to get together and maybe see if we can do something. Have you guys come to the More Expo or something?
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be
That'd be a
so
blast.
Yeah.
much fun.
Yeah.
We'll if we're gonna be around in town, like we'll totally go do it.
And we live an hour from here, so like
Where
if
do you
you do
live?
this sort of, we're like in between
What's your address?
Springfield. We're like Springfield area. Springfield area. We're on
Gotcha.
the outskirts of Springfield.
In a suburb.
But so yeah, when you guys
Lebanon, got it.
when you guys come, no, not out that far, but when you guys come back, if you come back for the Silver City thing, we'll be here.
We
So,
plan on coming back in September,
yeah,
so.
that'd be awesome.
But we're not staying at the same campground, so don't try to come find us.
It's not a big bluish green bus.
No, it's not. Definitely.
Well, by then there may not be.
It's
so
true. It might be a new bus. That's a
Oh.
whole other story. We'll save it for the next podcast.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, enjoy your breadsticks and thanks
Oh,
for hanging out. It was
Thank you.
awesome.
It's
Thanks
been
for
a
having us.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Connor, you can kill it. Thanks.
I told you these could run long.
I know. We
So
could just sit here
fun.
and do this like all night.